Hey guys, it's Corey, and today I want to talk a bit on how to treat trans people. It's going to be quite a short video because not really much to say. Treat them like people, treat them with respect, and treat them how you would any other person. So I guess that's it really. So I guess I'll see you next week. Bye. One of the things that people don't think about when it comes to trans people is asking questions. I understand that a lot of people are curious. That's fine. They're wanting to learn, but there are ways to ask without sounding offensive or intrusive. One of them is pronouns. If you're wanting to ask someone about their pronouns and find out what they prefer, pull them to one side and ask in private, because especially if they're with other people that don't know they're trans, and you go up and you ask what pronouns they prefer and that, it's kind of like outing them, because you wouldn't really ask a cis person. That kind of leads on to my next point, which is outing trans people. Basically just never do that. If the trans person is wanting to be stealth and doesn't want people knowing, then don't tell anyone that they're trans. I've had that done to me before and I felt like absolute crap after. I already wasn't in the best of places, and then I realised I got messages off this random guy. I had no idea who he was, knew I was trans, found out, and what it was is one of my friends had told him about me, and then he started asking me questions, and he was asking if I knew any other trans people, which I do, I know a lot of them, but I wouldn't tell him who they are or anything. Another thing that's quite big is misgendering. If it's accidental, I don't mind, and I think a lot of trans people wouldn't. Whatever pronouns they tell you to use them. It's not difficult, unless you've known the person for ages, which I can understand with like my family knowing me as a girl for like 17 years. I understand it's hard, but if you don't know the person, or you do but you don't know them very well, you have no excuse. If a trans person or their friend or anyone tells you what pronouns they prefer, don't argue with them, just use them. That's happened in the past where I finally met up with a friend I hadn't seen in ages, went out, went to the kebab shop like you usually do after a few drinks, and some middle-aged guy came in, made a couple of jokes, and then he apologised, but when he did, he said, "I'm only joking, ladies." And my friend then corrected him, saying that I'm a guy, and he stood and argued with her for a good 5-10 minutes, pretty much saying I'm a girl, which hurt a lot, and actually thinking about this still gets to me sometimes. But eventually I spoke up, I said I'm a guy, then he apologised, but he said it's because I look very feminine, which I have not really heard before. Came as a bit of a shock, and after that I ended up in a really bad place because it's not something a trans person wants to hear. But I suppose on the plus side I can kind of thank him for that, because we ended up writing a song about that incident for my course for uni. Another big thing a lot of trans people get asked about is old names. A lot of people always want to know what that person used to be called. Now, some trans people can be quite open about it. I watched a programme, it was a dating one, there was a trans guy on it and he openly said what he used to be called on TV. I will happily tell friends, but other times I won't tell anyone because it's none of their business. I've had people asking me, they're saying you're not trying to be offensive, but again, none of your business. I've had people asking me if I have always been Corey or if I changed my name, which really that's a question I don't want to answer and I shouldn't have to answer it. A big thing a lot of people like to ask about is the only question, the way a lot of people question it as well is, have you had the op yet? Which there are much better ways of asking that. And also not every trans person wants to have any operations. Some might want to just stay exactly as they are, just change your name and pronouns. Some might want to just start hormones, some might just want to have hormones and top surgery. And there is a lot more than one operation if they do go for it. And even then, for anything like top surgery, you've got multiple options. Same with bottom surgery. And then as well as them, especially if you're a trans guy, there are more smaller operations. For example, you can have a hysterectomy, which again not all trans guys will go for. Some like to keep them parts. Right now it's kind of one thing I don't know if I want, but I mean, guys like me have got plenty of time really. Another thing, again with being a trans guy, as soon as a lot of people, especially with me, because I do want bottom surgery and I am leaning more towards phalloplasty, a lot of people are telling me what size to get. Now, I think one thing a lot of people forget about is if it becomes erect, it doesn't grow like a cis man's. Whatever size I get or end up with, I have to pack with that. And the amount of people that have been telling me get a 7-inch, I might not want that. One thing I don't understand is why people are so interested in genitals of a trans person. Unless you're going to be intimate, you don't need to know what's between my legs. And I don't really want people telling me what to get. I know I've had some friends telling me as a joke, and that's fine because I can take a joke. But there are other people that have been telling me what to get, and I might not want what you want me to have, because again, unless we're going to be intimate and I've got to pack with it, I've got to feel comfortable with it. But I guess that's it for this week. Sorry it's late as well. I ended up going back home, got really busy, and then I did record it, and then the clips ended up getting messed up, and so I thought I'd redo it. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. So I will hopefully see you next week. Bye.